I love the whole model. I love what you're supporting. You're supporting those brokerages in dominating in their local markets, in providing technology services, bringing them the latest and greatest.
I mean, America is a land of opportunities, but it's also, if you think about it, go back in history, everyone came from somewhere that ended up in America, including all three of us here right now talking, right?
That's
all
right.
of us came from somewhere. I have many, many mentors, because one thing I also learned is that there's three ways we learn as humans, okay? One is considered the easiest way to learn is by imitation. You imitate somebody. If someone figure how to do something, just why reinvent the wheel? Go learn from them. This is why you get coaches. This is why you get mentors. This is why you get people who show you how to do things. In school, it's called cheating. In life, it's called sharing. Why reinvent the wheel, right? The second way is considered the hardest way to learn is by experience. Okay, this is only you going through it will you learn it, and this is why people come from hard background challenges. Have a saying, right? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's so true, because if you can survive through it, it made you a better person.
All right, welcome to the Top Real Estate Influencers podcast with your hosts, Alex Montalenti and Mauro Hurley. Today, we have Long Doan on the call from Realty Group. He's also ahead of the Indie Broker Group. What's the name of the Facebook group?
The Indie Broker Network on our Facebook group.
Awesome. And that's a group of independently owned brokerages. And I love the whole model. I love what you're supporting. You're supporting those brokerages in dominating in their local markets, in providing technology services, bringing them the latest and greatest. And what I love about you is that you actually show up on social media. You're very active. You share about your journey, you share about your life, you share about tools. You're standing for everybody being successful, not just your own company, but while you're expanding and you have a really large brokerage yourself. But I love all that you're really out there. So we wanted to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, welcome. Absolutely. I'm also very excited. I read about your story, and the truth is that in America, people don't realize how good we have it, the huge opportunity we have available. But you're one of those few people, I'm going to say probably 1 percentile in America that you see the opportunity and you took it 100%. So welcome aboard. Would you share with us briefly? I know you've done this before. I know you haven't been asked this question. This is not the first time you're going to be asked this question, but would you share with us a little bit about your story, how you came here and where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, you said it right, Mario. I mean, America is a land of opportunities, but it's also, if you think about it, go back in history, everyone came from somewhere that ended up in America, including all three of us here right now talking, right?
That's
all
right.
of us came from somewhere. So, for me personally, I'm probably one of the most recent refugees. Some people came hundreds of years ago and been here for a while, but I'm originally from Vietnam. And as you know, the Vietnam War happened in the mid-70s when the American pulled out. So at that time, the communist countries such as Vietnam, China, Korea, whatever, Russia, they have this thing called Reeducation Camp. So anyone who can think for themselves is a potential threat. Doctors, attorneys, poets, professors. Well, my dad was a professor. So he right away was one of hundreds of thousands of people that was arrested into Reeducation Camp. That's what they call it. So I was 8 at the time. My 2 younger brothers was 4 and 2. Okay, so I'll give you the shortened version. But I lived until I was 13 years old. So for about 5 years, I was kind of man of the house. Back then, it was called the rationed period in Vietnam, which means the government control everything and they give you what they give you. Even if you have money, you can't go buy anything. So for me, every day after school, my mom was working 2 jobs. We lived with my grandparents because in our culture, the oldest in the area, live with your parents. That was my dad. So every day after school, I line up in 2 to 3 hours in long line, hot, heat, humidity. Mondays, probably get a ration for a family of rice. Tuesday might be protein. Wednesday might be spices. Thursday might be detergent. You literally line up and they give you based on the ration of how many people in your household. Okay, that was the way it was for a long, long time. Of course, I had no future there because of my dad, who was a political prisoner or in re-education camp. I could not go to school, where both of my parents were very well educated. They both got scholarships to Florida State University from Vietnam. My dad came back with a PhD. My mom came back with a master's degree. So there was no future for me to even have any of those. And it was really bad living condition back then. you know. So a lot of people left Vietnam and were a coastal country. Because of that, we were called the boat people, because most of us left by boat. So essentially what happened was people take this river fishing boat, have a secret compartment underneath, and they would smuggle people out, and you would pay for a spot on the boat. Well, for me, it was my third try. I'm the oldest. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, or all the kids on there, because the survival rate is less than 50%. I tell people all the time, I'm a flip of a coin sitting here talking to you, you know. I happen to land on the right side. So it was my third try. She had to get me on the boat. I was one of 153 people in a small fishing boat. I literally finally made it, and you probably seen from movies, books, magazines, you know, hundreds of people on this boat. What happened is we're underneath, and then we fished down this river called the Mekong River. It runs through a lot of Asian country until it feeds into international water in the ocean. So if you make it down the river, which I got caught the first 2 times, the third time we made it through, got into the ocean, and the plan is you float until someone picks you up, or you run out of gas, food, water, and you die. And this is for me, it was the early 80s, 1981, 82 there. I was 13 years old when I left. And a lot of country back then too, it was really bad too, right? In the 80s, there was the economy was really bad all around the world. And in Vietnam, when we leave, our money is worth nothing. So guess what? People convert them to jewelries or gold or whatever they take with, right? And surrounding fishermen, times are tough, they turn pirates. So, you know, all the Thai, Chinese, you know, Japanese, the fishermen, they find this little river fishing boat, can't outrun the ocean boat, right? They get on, usually take all the jewelry, the gold, usually rape the women, sink the boat, because that was mercy killing, because they take everything, gas, food, right? You're eventually going to die. So that was mercy killing. So as 13 years old, I saw a body floating, you know, so probably recently sunken boat nearby. We got lucky. We never ran across any pirates. So we ran across, eventually we had 1 day's left of food and water. I was told later. And, you know, so my journey, the first 3 days, 4 days was pretty bad. So we're underneath the river fishing boat, and we fished down the Mekong River. 153 people in the size of probably 2 to 3 regular office, 10 by 10. Just think of that, right? So don't think of 3 of that. If you're in a regular hotel right now, I know you're at an event in New Jersey right now, Mario. I don't know how big your hotel, usually maybe 2 rooms like that, okay? 153 people cramped, sit shoulder to shoulder, 3 days, can't go to the bathroom except right there, number 1, number 2, whatever it is, thrown up because of the condition of the water, you know, can't make any noise. It was no fun. So when we finally got to international water, everyone gets to go on top. And that's for me, it felt like going from hell to heaven, just the fresh air you take for granted, you know? But that's when you realize you're like the point of no return, because you're out here. The first 2 times I got caught, so I got to go home. This time, that's it, man. Either you make it or you don't. So we got lucky. Boats went by, was not a pirate, called into the nearest refugee camp. So during that time, Red Cross has set up refugee camps all around Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, you know, all the country nearby. So Indonesia. So where I was, we ended up in Malaysia. So the island I was on, I know Mario, you read about it in Wikipedia page. It was nicknamed Hell Island at the time, where it was considered to be the most heavily populated place on earth. I was one of 40,000 people in the size of a football field. Okay.
Wow.
Now, because I was an orphan, I was there by myself. I was only there for 8 months. There are people there 4 to 5 years. Okay. So fast forward, after 8 months of terrible living condition, I ended up here in America, in Minnesota, where I'm at right now, because my uncle, who was my dad's brother, lived in Minnesota. So he sponsored me. So I'm an orphan and I got a sponsor. Okay. Many people have to wait for church, nonprofit, someone to get them over, right? Whatever country they declare to go to. And so that's how I ended up here in America. I was 14 by the time I got here, because I was at the island for 8 months.
Wow. You know what's amazing is the fact that when you got caught twice, I'm sure you didn't think twice. You're gonna try again and again and again, because you know what else you're gonna do? Just sit there and like wait to die. Because
the alternative.
Yes. And it was great.
That's
how
right.
the fact that you were 13, was that better than if you were an adult, if they caught you the first time?
Very good question. So back then, if you get caught and you're 16 or older as a male, back then the Vietnamese was at war with the Chinese. Okay. So you literally get sent to the front line. run around until you get shot to death as an ammunition boy. They don't want to waste a bullet on you. That's why I left when I was younger, because by the time I'm 16, if I get caught, I'm done.
And you know what's so funny? You're gonna be blown away by this, Long. I'm also an orphan. But this brother right here, my best friend here, he has a mom and a dad still. So, you know, I can relate with you a lot with the hard life. I was an orphan. I came to America, and my mom died when I was 10 years old. I never met my dad until now. I still don't know nothing. At this point, I don't mind because I have my own kids. But it's interesting, you know, the fact that Alex too, even though you had a mom and a dad, you could also say things were not so fun either. You also had to go through your own struggles.
Yeah.
Like Alex, it's amazing. You have a mom and a dad. Do you still have a mom and dad, Long?
Yep. So they are alive and they're here now. So my dad, the other story on that is as a prison, right? He was in prison when I was 8 years old. When he was arrested, I did not see him again until I was 32 years old. So he was fortunate to be alive because he keep writing articles about democracy and human rights, keep getting smuggled out, published in the free world. Because of that, the American during that time has an economic embargo in Vietnam. So every time they have the conversation with the Vietnamese government, my dad's name would come up because the late Senator John McCain, who was a POW in the Vietnam War himself, adopted my dad as a prisoner of conscience. So that's why they kept asking about my dad, otherwise they would kill him off. So by the time they did agree to release him, the condition was he had to be exiled directly to America. So they came and lived with myself in Minnesota for a while, and it's too cold for them, of course. So they moved to Virginia, where my mom just retired after working for the State Department for 20 years.
Unbelievable. So you're actually part of a family of, you know, strong people who have strong convictions. You know, that's amazing. So I definitely, you know, salute you for being who you are, for your journey. And we want to get it now into the present times, you know, your current goals, your vision for the future, your perspective for what's going on in the real estate industry, but just in general in the American, in the market and all that. So let me ask you, how did you get into real estate?
Yeah, so I got here and my younger brother luckily made the same trip and made it too. He ended up in Indonesia, right? So at the first few nights at camp, I didn't sleep very well because I wake up to rats the size of my puppy now, you know, because of the living condition. Well, he was in Indonesia. They had a lot of snakes. So luckily he had no rat because the snake eat the rat, but he had a lot of snakes. So I'm telling him, I don't know which one's worse, snakes or rat, you know? So he made the trip 2 years later and luckily also made it. So when he came to America, at the time I was now 18, so I'm grown up. I appreciate my aunt, uncle helped raise us. So we moved out. I raised him from 8th grade to high school, 8th grade to 12th grade. I worked 3 jobs. I went to University of Minnesota. So in my last year there, they have this job fair during the spring. So I went to a job fair and I got hired and I started my first 15 years. I was on the mortgage side. That's how I started. And my last 15 now, going on 15, I'm on the real estate side. So both are very similar. But I got into mortgage first and then real estate in the last half of my 30 years career up to now. So that's how I got into real estate.
That is really cool. I'm also hearing in your story that you have a very strong work ethic.
Yeah, I think we all know, right? Talent is actually sometimes work against you. We have a saying that success is the biggest enemy of growth. When you're doing well, sometimes you just like become complacent, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So because of that, hard work will outperform talent anytime. If you have any talent, hard work is even better. So I don't think anything can replace hard work, but all of us, where we came from in our background, we know that, right? You work hard, especially here with the opportunity, you work hard. I share my story a lot because I want to tell them, if I can freaking do it, anyone can do it. You just got to put in the work.
Absolutely. So I mean, I'm sure you had something that reminded you that there's a better tomorrow. So who do you have today, or who did you have in those days that influenced you, that inspired you to keep going?
Yeah, I have many mentors, because one thing I also learned is that there's 3 ways we learn as human. Okay. One is considered the easiest way to learn is by imitation. You imitate somebody. If someone figure out how to do something, just why reinvent the wheel? Go learn from them. This is why you get coaches. This is why you get mentors. This is why you get people who show you how to do things. In school, it's called cheating, and life is called sharing. Why reinvent the wheel, right? The second way is considered the hardest way to learn is by experience. Okay, this is only you going through it will you learn it, and this is why people come from hard background challenges. They have a saying, right? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's so true, because if you can survive through it, it made you a better person. Yeah. Now, the cool thing about experience nowadays, you can also share or learn from someone else's experience. So you don't have to I don't want people to go through my same experience anymore to learn. I will share with them my experience so they can learn from it, which leads to the third way we learn, which is considered the most noble, is by reflection. Okay. So for me, I think how I learn everything is I learn from everybody, and then I reflect on how things work and how it works for me. So, but one person I probably look up to is my own father. He spent 20 some plus year in prison, because he believed in something, and he never, considered folding. He would fight to the death for his cause. Because of that, I believe in, do what is right versus what is easy or popular. And for me, that's kind of been how I grow and learn. So I'm also very teachable. I'll learn from anybody who has something good to show me, man. I'll never say I know everything. Just a lot of time, that's how I learn. So I would not say I have one or two really key person. I have many, because throughout my journey in life, I learned certain things from this person. Tonight, my routine I have is I reflect every night. I'll look at my calendar, you guys, of all the things that happened today. Because if it's not on my calendar, it didn't happen, okay? And then I usually think, could I have done something differently? Could I have answered Mario a question differently? What did I learn from Alex? What did I learn from Mario? This is how I reflect, right? And that's what I do every night. I will do the same tonight after talking to you guys. And that's how I learn. Because of that, hundreds of people have influenced where I am today.
You're a lot like me, as a matter of fact. Since I came to America, I read a whole lot of books. I was introduced to religion, and I wanted to have an experience. I wanted to feel something. I didn't feel nothing. Then I looked for, mentors, you name it, Tony Robbins, Dan Penn, the list goes on and on. But like you, I had to get a little bit of everybody and then do my own thing, and that's the way that's worked for me the best. Today I'm a life trainer, and I help people when it comes to their communication, being effective, having a life that actually works, and that they're satisfied.
Love that.
Yeah, so it's so cool. I mean, it's so cool to me, like a kindred spirit. So let's talk about, you've been through that, and okay, that's what happened in the past. Now you're here. You're no joke. You're a successful person. Okay, we respect you. We consider you an influencer, right? You're at the forefront of what's coming next. So share with us about what do you see is happening in the future? What's your vision? What do you see is going to happen in terms of the industry and how it ties in with technology?
Yeah. So we are in the people business. That's what we all do right now, right? You're a life coach. I'm in real estate, Alex, or whatever you do. We're all in the people business. So because of that, technology will never change, to replace us, but it is changing the way we do business. Because of that, you have to leverage technology to start growing and building your business. But speaking of trend, people still buy and sell homes. They have for hundreds of years, they will for hundreds of more years, right? Until something crazy happens. But they're doing them differently, okay? Think of Netflix. People still watch movie and show, they just do them differently. Right? Expedia, people still travel, they do them differently. Uber, people still get rides, they do them differently. Shopping, right now, every day I come home, freaking packages in front because my wife and my kids are all doing the Christmas thing, right? People still shop, they use Amazon. iBuyer is another way people are working in the real estate space. Because of that, I believe the real estate space will change significantly, because unless you start learning how to leverage technology and social media and do videos to brand yourself, you will get lost. You will become what I call the secret agent. Like, people won't even know you, because in the people business, people work with people they like and trust. They don't like you and trust you. How are they going to work with you? But now, especially Minnesota, I'm not right now. It's like in the teens and snowing. I'm not going to go door knocking. I know that's work, but I'm not going to go door knocking. It's not smart for me. social media and technology is one way you can virtual door knock hundreds, if not thousands of people on a consistent basis and frequency and all kind of stuff. So I think you will see that change. The real estate professional will also have to elevate themselves to become professional consultants, okay, with options for people, because never have there been more information readily available. People can look up YouTube, Google to find out anything. If I have an appointment with a seller or buyer, they know more about the homes than I do. That's not what I'm needed anymore. I don't have to find a home for them anymore. I am there to tell them that so much information going on. What do they do with that information? And then being a life coach, Mario, everything go back to the mindset anyway. So that's eventually at the end of the day, you will see real estate professionals have to become CEO of their own company and understand they are in the people business. They work with people and they run a business. If all they think they're a real estate agent, opening door, completing a few paperwork and get a big commission, they're in for big change.
That's beautiful. Do you to your team, what things are you implementing? What strategies, what technologies?
Yep. So in our model, we treat every agent as a CEO of their own company. Okay. And our job here as their business partner is to help them grow their business. We are tracking 104% increase. I mean, on an average, you join us, we double your business. Our number one agent, when she joined us, was doing 130 transactions a year. That's a lot already, as you guys know, right?
Yeah.
I don't care, nationally, locally, 130. Last year, she closed 275. She still doubled her business with us. So what we do, Mario and Alex, besides the technology piece, which we do bring in AI technology, all the great third-party tools out there that we bring in including things from RealGrader and other places. But the thing we focus the most on is that besides teaching our agent what we call real estate IQ, like how to do real estate, everything real estate related, it's EQ and mindset is what we double down on, especially in 2020, 21 and 2020 because of the COVID thing, right? It's never been, real estate professional is a crazy industry. Why? On an average, 48 people touches a real estate transaction. You, the agent on this side, the other agent or broker, depending what state you're in, right? The buyer, the seller, the loan officer, the closer, title, escrow, insurance, right? Stager, photographer, mover, inspector, appraiser. I can name on and on and on. About 48 people touching those real estate transactions. And any one of those people can mess up your deal as a real estate professional, right? The deal can be dead. The other thing too is, as a real estate professional, you're constantly out there trying to get interviews. And when you get an interview with the buyer or the seller, you try to do a really good job so they hire you. And then once they hire you, you work your butt off to work yourself out of a job in 30 to 45 days so you can do it all over again. I mean, that's a very high stress situation. That's why you see agents do this, jump in and out. So at the end of the day, we want them to be up here, work on their mindset and their emotional intelligence, because that's how they will consistently grow instead of just teaching them how to do real estate, which we also do, but we double down. So that's one thing that we do, Mario, is we brought on this thing called My Steady Mind. Okay. As a life coach, you will like that, right? So Dr. Seth Hickerson, he was working with Navy SEALs, SWAT team, ER surgeons, just high stress situation. When we share with him how stressful the real estate industry is, he's like, oh my God, this is crazy. So then he modified that to fit the real estate. We were the beta test company. So that's what we did, Mario. When you ask us is, we want to be, the buyer seller is expecting the agent to be different. The agent, our customer as a broker, is expecting the broker to be different, right? Because we now have to service the agent differently so they can service the end consumer. And for us, the big piece was mindset. And through COVID, we grew right through it because we doubled down on the mindset piece.
So tell us what happened during COVID, because we have, so far, we would love to share our story about how RealGrader, our organization, transformed things to COVID. What was it like for your organization?
Yeah, so as soon as COVID hit, no one knows what's going on, right? I mean, some state, Minnesota, luckily, real estate was considered an essential business, but I have friends all over the country. California was shut down, New York, New Jersey, some state was just a lot more different. So agent was unknown. They don't know what's going on. They're like, oh my God, this is it. It's Armageddon almost. So right off the bat, we had meetings right off the bat. We've been actually was using Zoom. We do training 2-3 times a week in person, but we've Zoom all of our training. So because of that, before Zoom became cool, we were already using Zoom. So when COVID hit, the only adjustment we tell people was just stay home and jump on Zoom meetings and Zoom training. Okay. So we had this meeting right away, right in our mindset. We said, okay, we're in the people business. As real estate professional, we are the leaders in our community. So more than ever now, our people need us. So all you guys reach out to your database. Okay. Number one, you yourself need to work on your mindset. And we did all that with them.
Yeah.
Reach out to your database, not to sell anything, but to check in on them. Because when this thing is over, and it will be, you already see things changing, right? Yeah. You want to be remembered for what you did during the bad time, right? Not just disappear on them. So all agents call their database, just like we recommend to them. How you doing? Just checking in. Are you okay? The kids okay? We also learned right away, the connectivity rate increased by 500% because people are all home. All they do is talk to their kids. They actually are happy when someone calls them, an adult to talk to, you know? So now they're having real conversation and they check in. Hey, that's great. Oh, hey, by the way, my sister thinking about selling home right now. Should she even do it or not? Also, now agents telling us, well, just because we check in, our business actually doubled. So all of our agents actually ended up growing the business versus a struggle. So that's when we realized we were right about the power of mindset. So we tell people, just reach out, don't sell anything, check in, and then have the right mindset to get through all of this.
So I got a question for you. The agents that you talk about that doubled their business, like this one female example that you gave, if they hadn't implemented the mindset, how much less business do you think they would have done?
They would struggle, probably shut down. By the way, her name is Artemisa Boston. So Mike is my business partner. Mike Bernier and I, she work with us now. She is the #1 Latino agent in the country. Okay, she won that with NAREP. Okay, so that's who she is. But you hit it on the nail there, Alex. We see high producing agent in our market that's not with us struggle and pretty much just shut down. They think, this is it. How can I show a home if I can't go in? How can I even talk to somebody? Well, that's a challenge. What's the solution? You can only control what you can't control. Just because COVID is there, you're not shut down. Now identify the challenge and then come up with a solution and keep moving forward.
Wow.
So it's funny. It's like every industry leader that we interview, I would say the common trend for success is the mindset, the personal development. It's all of that. It's not like what actions are you taking in your business or like, what are you doing with technology or what are you doing with this? It's really this mindset piece. And for us, it was the same kind of thing, like whatever coaching that you listened to or whatever, download you got or whatever it was during COVID, similar thing for us. We couldn't go to real estate offices. We couldn't provide our services. And we said, well, how do we make ourselves Corona proof? What kind of mindset do we have? We said, we have to be there for our agents. Let's give it away. So we just did free education. And that's actually, in the end, we connected with all these agents who are at home, provided all this great education to help them stay in the business and grow their business. And then our business tripled as a result, but it actually wasn't even our intention. We were thinking like, what are we gonna do? Like, how can we help? And then it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, that's why all of us said we're like kindred spirit, right? We all think the same because I personally, and that's what our core value, right? Help others achieve their dreams and you will achieve yours. If that's what you look at to make sure you help the people, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah. On that note, I would love to know, it's super crucial for me to know, like, what are the things where I'm strong at? What are the things that I'm proud of? What are the things where I know I need to get somebody else to help me with it? So what would you say are your qualities within yourself that you're proud of?
Yes, we actually do that with all of our agents when we sit down. We don't call it coaching, we call it consulting, right? If you want a one-on-one with Long or Mike, we'll sit down 30 minutes, an hour. Some people do once, twice a year, some quarterly. And if they have not done one, we will walk into what we call a SWOT analysis. SWOT, as you know, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Strength and weakness is you internally, opportunity, threat is external, right? So for me personally, I'm always working on whatever, but I would say my strength or superpower that I come to understand is that I'm really good with emotional intelligence, like mindset, like I believe that everything starts here. So I know Alex, you and I met in person. I've met you, Mario. You probably can't tell from Zoom or whatever, but I look like I'm in pretty decent shape. People always tell me, man, you must work out a lot. You must eat right. I'm like, No, I eat. People ask me, I'm like, I'm on a seafood diet. Why is that? I see food I eat. You know, I'm that way. But I think weirdly, scarily, I think because in my mind, I think I'm in good shape. I am in good shape. I actually think mindset is that important. So for me, I think my biggest strength is my mindset, that there's nothing I can't do. Okay. But number two is, it's my emotional intelligence. It's relationship management. Okay. I have a large leadership team here. I could not do this by myself. All the great partners and people here, right? We have 700 agents. That's my greatest skill, is I'm really good with identifying people and connecting with them, because I believe in the people business. I call it the culture code. There are 3 reasons why people are with us and they stay with us. One is they want to feel safe. When they're with Alex and they're here, man, they feel safe here. We're not going to take advantage of them. We're not going to do something bad to them, right? Number 2 is they want to feel connected. That's something I'm really good with, connecting with people. You know, when I get to talk to people, you know, they usually tell me, man, I don't tell anyone that, but I'm telling you this, you know? So it's got the connection with the people. And the third is the share future. Okay, I'm really quickly identify where they're going. I want to make sure I'm in alignment with them. If not, I'm not wasting their time, because I don't want to go north, they're going south, right? I don't want east to go west. So people are here because they see where we are taking them is where they want to go as well.
And what are the common things you hear from your team? Where do they want to go?
They want to help themselves and help other people. And at the end of the day, the common theme is personal growth. Because in our line of work, you guys, we do not show up to work. We turn on the switch and we punch in to go to work, right? We are constantly working in who we are as a person. If we don't grow, our business will not grow. So everything has to start with us internally to grow first. And that's the shared future that people see here with us, is we want to focus on personal growth.
What's the average age in your team?
We average 15 years of experience here. So we have agents who've been around for a while, but we do have your 1/3, your millennial, 1/3, your baby boomer, 1/3. So we're actually very diverse. As a matter of fact, speaking of diversity, we speak 25 languages here. Because, you know, we're in the people business, right? So you got to have the variety and diversity.
Wow. What, 25?
That's right. There's no language barrier here that I haven't found yet.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So
Awesome.
do you have any projects, any things that you are planning that you're going to be launching?
Yes. So for me, I believe that, again, I said it very early on, that success is the biggest enemy of growth, right? So you always constantly have to keep growing, because, you know, life is a journey, right? Not a destination, because if you arrive at your destination in life, you're dead, right? So you constantly want to be continuing to appreciate what you have and continue to grow. So our next big project right now is we're licensed in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and we like to grow into the snowbird state, we call them. There's a lot of Minnesota here in the winter. We go to Florida or Arizona. So our project is Florizona. It's Florida and Arizona.
Okay.
That we're going to be going into. That's a very short-term project that we have on the horizon right now.
Beautiful.
The other thing is, I like to also get our agents always to be ahead of the curve. So we know blockchain and NFT and cryptocurrency is right around the corner. So we're positioning our agent to be ready for that.
So you're bringing in people to educate them, or what?
Yep, NFT, you know, blockchain, cryptocurrency. We want our agent to be the first in our market to do this kind of stuff when we're ready.
Sounds like agents that are going to be watching this podcast may want to give you a call.
Yeah, we, you know, when we sit down to meet with agents, many of them do come and join us.
Wow. Do you want to share the information if they want to connect with you, how they can do that?
Yeah, Realty Group in Minnesota. You probably Google me, Long Doan, Minnesota. I'll probably pop up in the first couple of pages. Quite a few articles about me, by why you found me. And I'm very open. You can get a hold of me, the direct message. I am Facebook, whatever. I'm very easy to get a hold of and find.
And what's your criteria for somebody to join your team?
Yep, you have to want to grow and you have to want to help people, because we believe you help people, money will come, right? So a profile agent is someone who know that if you don't change, you will not survive. Matter of fact, we have an acronym here that's called LIFE. LIFE here for us is L is learn. I'm learning from you guys today. We're all learning from each other, right?
Yeah.
But why does 92% of people never achieve their goal? Because they don't implement, which is I. So we tell people, go implement. Matter of fact, we say, build a plane while you're flying it. If you don't try to implement it, doesn't matter, right?
Mhm.
But by implementing, you have to expect to fail, which is F. Okay, because on your way to success, you will pass many, many, many failures. I failed so many times. That's because you don't learn when you succeed, right? You don't learn when you fail. And because of you fail, only then will you learn and evolve, which is E. So learn, implement, fail, evolve. That's a circle of life here. And that's what I tell our people here all the time.
That's beautiful, and I wish, but like Alex, definitely, Long, would you be willing to come and be our guest at one of our company meetings? Because we are in that same boat, and we have been preaching to the non-existing choir about how important this is, the mindset.
Yeah, I would love to. I've done many of these, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
All of our agents and people on our team, they're like our kids, right? I don't care how old they are, how long they're in the industry. They're constantly trying to do as least as possible to get away with stuff or whatever. And how many times, if you have kids, you'll know, how many times they'll come home and say, so-and-so parent said this, it's awesome. I'm like, I've been telling you that 10 years.
Yes.
So it's always good to hear from somebody else. And I've invited you guys to my meeting. I'm willing to do for your meeting.
Yeah,
I've done that many times.
that's so true.
Perfect.
You need that other person to come in and say something.
Say the same thing that you probably verbatim, but all of a sudden now it's a great idea.
So now let's expand like to the nation. So people who are in your team sounds like they're in good hands, and sounds like they're getting the proper stimulation for their growth and evolution. What would you recommend for other agents all over? Like right now, I'm seeing lots of agents. There's over 8,000 people coming here, right?
Yep.
Not all of them are on the same track. Some of them are still avoiding basic things. Like they come by and we tell them, you need to take a look at your online presence. If somebody's seeing you next to another agent online and you have everything looking professional and you have reviews versus somebody who doesn't, who are they going to choose? It's a no-brainer. So what would you recommend to people in this industry? Like what do you recommend they need to be doing right now if they actually want to survive, make it to the next 5-10 years?
Yep. So in the people business, people work with people they like and trust. We know that, right? Because of that, you want to be visible, because visibility is credibility. Visibility is credibility. Otherwise, you just be a secret agent, right? Even your friends, your cousin, your friend probably don't know you do real estate. So how do you become visible? Well, you don't have time to go door knock like a politician asking for vote. You have to be more efficient. Because of that, your digital footprint is a big, big, big deal. You have to know when people Google you, look you up, what kind of picture do you have on Facebook? What kind of things you have? You have to be careful of that. So that's number one. So so definitely spend time on that. Number two is hire a mentor or a coach, someone to help lead you there. Because if you don't know how to get there, someone should show you, right? This is, instead of you experiencing it, learning from someone else's experience. That's what a coach would do to guide you. So those are the two things that I would highly, highly recommend, no matter where you are in your career, brand new, been doing it for a while, because guess what? The things that used to work for you 5 years ago may not work today anymore. You got to constantly be growing and learning.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Yeah. For all of our folks that are watching the podcast, listening to the podcast, we keep on seeing this guest after guest. The trend is you definitely got to work on being visible, being really focused on providing a value to others. And how you do that, like you said, now you cannot just go knock on doors all the time. It's all about your online presence and doing the videos. So how much videos do you do personally?
Yes, so we have a marketing team here that help with videos, and probably more than normal agents. But here's the thing: you want to be authentic, right, and real.
Yep.
So most people, especially ladies, because 67% of real estate agents are women, right?
Yep.
Especially ladies, my wife included, don't think they look good or sound good on video, right? And then I tell them, that's what you look like and sound like. Get over it. You want to be authentic. How many times I come and meet people face to face, and I walk in and they're either their Facebook or their business card or they're on the signature line. I come in like, oh my God, what do you do? Use a high school picture? You're like 50 years old, So just be you, be yourself, be authentic. So just build a plane while you're flying it. The first 5, content all around you. You can easily say, I hate when agents only do about their just clothes, just listed, just whatever.
Yeah.
You have to also share about you, what you do in your life, what organization you belong to, if you're a church person, if you
Mhm.
like to work out. People want to know who you are, so they can identify with you.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I always say, the biggest thing missing on social media for realtors is realtors. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a billboard for your listings. It's not a classified ad. It's like, when are you showing up? Do you, and do realtors walk into a listing presentation like, don't look at me, don't look at me, but
that's
please
right.
sign the listing agreement? Like, no, you need to actually show up just the way you do in real life. And when you do that, you connect with people. And I think
That's
that's
right.
what I see you authentic, connecting, sharing on social media. I'm sure a lot of recruiting happens as a result of that. Like, they
Yep.
see you, they get to know you. They're like, I already feel like I know you. They probably walk in the door. They're like, oh, I already know who you are. This is why I'm here. You don't even need to
Yep.
sell them at that point.
Yep. Because everything you said, Mario and Alex, is right. Because you want to attract instead of chase, right? So if
Mhm.
people know who you are, the right people will be attracted to you. This way you always weed out the people who probably not in alignment with you anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
always very happy to make it very clear what is our message, what we're here to provide, and who is the ideal candidate to work with us. And when I meet agents that say, oh, I don't need that, I say, okay, thank you, next. Like before, I used to think, oh, everyone needs to be convinced because they need this, but I realized there's so many people out there. We're talking about thousands and thousands of agents. We got plenty of people to work with, so might as well work with those that want to be in the same boat as you. It's a beautiful thing. Let me ask you something else. What do you think needs to happen in our industry, given the fact that technology is moving so quickly more than ever?
I believe that as an industry, we need to kind of self-police and clean ourselves up a little bit, right? We can't wait for policymakers or whatever, because at the end of the day, our perception is not great because our barrier of entry is too low. And what I mean by that is, I don't know about you, most states, but Minnesota, 90-hour classes, you pass a couple tests, now you're licensed to help people in their largest financial transaction in their lifetime, if not the most complex, right? And because of that, everyone sees their own agent, a friend, a cousin, or a long lost, a brother or something.
Yeah.
So we need to change the entry level of entry and then improve and make sure that real estate professionals should constantly look for a way to improve personally themselves and grow, because then and only then can they help lead and help other people.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge, because when I say this to other agents, I know when we've done the conferences and everything, when I say this, it still right now sounds like it's a weird thing to say. But the reality is, those who are successful, those who put in the work, those who done the homework, they say it's a must. It's really a must. And I love the fact that you are one of those leaders that says that's what needs to happen in our industry.
Yep.
That's huge. So let us know, are you noticing any trends, like in terms of, let's say, social media, right? All the different platforms, we can mention them if you like. What are you seeing are the trends? Like, where is all this headed to?
Yep. So of course, right, it was we are old enough to remember, right? MySpace and everything kind of moved, right? And Facebook was great, and YouTube, and then Instagram and Twitter, whatever. I think TikTok is starting to gain a lot of a lot of traction in the real estate space, especially for us, because TikTok is good for agents, but most are not leveraging it as a broker. So we're one of the very few that are using TikTok right now on the brokerage level, and has helped us generate and get a lot of recruiting and growing the company, because the agent is the user of TikTok are actually liking it, whereas brokers are not. So I think TikTok will be at the social media part. But then again, video, you got to start, because short of in-person meeting, which is not possible all the time, right? Because the new local is now global, okay? So you don't have to, you can be from New Jersey right now at an event and still conducting business with somebody in California, So because of that, you have to be comfortable learning how to use video and social media so that you can be more visible out there and conduct your business electronically.
What are your top tips for somebody that says, okay, I hate to do video, but okay, I heard what you said, Long, I'm ready. What would you say? Here's what you got to do.
Yeah, just go ahead and do 1 or 2 or 3, and just throw it out there and build a plane while you're flying it. That's the only time you're gonna get better. Number one. Number two, go hire somebody who can help you do it or show you how to do it. So again, they come all the way back to the mindset, right? If you say you can't, you're right. If you say you can, you're right. You just got to decide that you can and go just freaking do it. And you will fail more than you will succeed. You'll have way more bad videos than you will have good video. But guess what? Because of that you're authentic, you're real, and people will want to work with you.
This morning, I was walking by one of these booths, and it was I think it was a loan office, and I said, "Do you guys want to do a TikTok dance with me?" They said, "We're a serious business. We don't do that." I felt so awkward. I didn't know if I should run or try to educate them.
Exactly.
What would you have said to them?
Well, I said, well, then this is why you still have a booth here. If you do this thing right, you won't even need a booth.
Right, it's true.
That's
Exactly.
and I
mean,
love.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be on all these platforms. I mean, one thing we heard that was new this year was a broker who had an agent come in for an interview, and the agent goes, "Well, what's your Instagram? Let me follow you." And the broker goes, "Oh, I haven't set that up yet." And he's like, "All right, thank you. Have a good day. See you later. I'm out of here." And same thing's happening with a listing presentation. Like, show me your Instagram. Show me how you're going to expose my property. Oh, you're not on Instagram. You only have 5 followers. All right, have a good day. And the next thing is going to happen with TikTok. It's like, all right, are you on TikTok? Are you driving traffic to your Instagram, to your YouTube? Are you getting exposure out there? You know, what I want to do, Mario, we did this. We started challenging industry influencers in real estate, and like even doing duets with them, right? Like, so, you know, maybe Long, you might see, I might grab one of your TikToks and then do a duet. So me and you are on the TikTok together, but we could build this, like, you know, real estate industry influencer challenges where we're duetting each other, you know?
Yeah, I'm in.
That's beautiful. Well, Long, it's been really great. This is a very eye-opening conversation. I love your acronyms. I love how simplified you put it. I have to say, you know, people that are working with you, they're really fortunate to have someone like you to lead them and inspire them. And I'm sure your partner is also very happy with you. We wish you continued success. We would like to have you back in the near future for a follow-up conversation, talk about some of the new things that we're seeing coming up in the industry, you know, and also share with you about what we are doing and how we can contribute more to this industry and to every agent that wants to be successful.
I would love that. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right.